Welcome to the 2025 Menterprise Showcase. My name is Pim, I'm the co-founder and lead developer at Menterprise, and today we'll go through why Menterprise will make a massive difference to your SEO agency for both yourself and your clients by automating off-site authority in various ways. Authority is essential in 2025. Always has been, but especially now since AI content is everywhere, Google has had to look at other ways to prioritize different web pages and sites over the others. Backlinking, link building, these are all things that people are doing to move the needle. However, automating this kind of thing is still really difficult, or you have to rely on a lot of spammy tools and plugins to do so. So that's what Menterprise solves. While other people are hosting manually, configuring WordPress manually, mashing together different content tools like Spin Rewriter and different AI tools as well, and completely leaving behind interlinking on a cross-site basis and focusing only on internal linking. Not to mention all the maintenance that takes just to get a couple sites up and running. Menterprise will automate all of that for you. Is all the things that Menterprise will do. Now we're going to get into the dashboards and sort of build some stuff together in a minute, but I just want to go through a couple slides here because Menterprise will do all of the hosting automatically, all the SEO optimizations on a technical basis automatically, content generation, interlinking automatically, sitemap schema, and also allow you to build really interesting structures like locational microsites, directories, all of this interlinked with different content siloing and everything. Now this is hard to visualize, so we will go through and actually build some of this stuff, but also worth mentioning that Menterprise is not built on WordPress. We've built our own platform. So therefore it's about 800 times faster to build all these sites than WordPress. It's purpose built for SEO networks. It's an all-in-one platform, meaning you don't have to juggle a bunch of tools anymore. It'll do everything from the site creation, the hosting, the page creation, the content creation, everything, all in 2 dashboards that we have. When you sign up, you get all the features. There's no upsells, no funnel that you go into, and it's all built to be designed visually. So you can probably see on the right-hand side, we've got a diagram builder where we can drag and drop content to do different siloing across tiers. And since it's not WordPress, it's really simple to use. You don't have to log into your cPanel, don't have to log into WordPress. There's no plugin updates, never again. As I said before, there's 2 dashboards. One is the publishing dashboard, one is the content dashboard. This will replace a bunch of tools you might be using already, or it'll let you enter this whole world of automated authority if you are unable to start because of how difficult it's been before. So we're going to start with the publishing dashboard and we're going to jump between them as we go through the showcase. First, let's check out the domains I've got hosted. They all come with dedicated IPs, and I can easily add more with a single click up here because they're totally automated. Next up, let's build some sites on top of them. When we say sites, we mean subdomains. So let's create some localized subdomains for a plumbing client of ours. If we click on create sites up here, select some domains, I'm going to paste in some titles here and also into the subdomain field. Clean it up a little bit. I'm also going to split them 20 sites each on these domains, and I'm going to create them from a table, pasting in just from Excel, add them to a group, plumbing USA 100 cities, and click on create sites. What we just created was localized sites on 20 different domains, about 20 spread each, and we actually see their subdomain counts have jumped up since we've done that. Now, if we jump over to our destination groups over here, we can actually see that new group that we've created in here. To publish to the sites that we've created or sites that we might have created beforehand, like I've got a couple extra networks here, we need to launch a campaign. So let's do that. If we click on launch campaign, on the left-hand side, we're going to have our library where we select the groups that we're going to use and the content that we're going to use. And in the middle, we have a representation of how the interlinking and the cross-site posting is going to work. So if you imagine one of these little boxes, these nodes as a group of pages, and these tiers as a layer of pages. So I'm going to first simplify this into 2 levels by removing 1 tier. We can also add tiers, we can add nodes, we can make lots of different types of structure. But for today, we're going to just have a 2-level, 2-tier setup where we have one type of content linking to another. Then I'm going to add in our plumbing group here, but I'm also going to add in another general local group. Now to assign these to the different tiers, I'm going to drag and drop my plumbing group here and my general local group here. Now the next thing that we have to do is add some content in. So let's go and switch over to the content dashboard and do just that. I'm going to generate some content from this prompt or search term up here. And then I just click on generate articles. Now, whilst it's going out and doing that, it's actually going to go and automatically scrape some images from Google and some videos from YouTube that match this search term. And then it's going to take these modules and it's going to inject them into the content. Once my articles are returned, I can preview each one by clicking here and see the 3 different pieces that make up an article. So number 1 is the source, where we've either scraped and rewritten or generated our content from. And then there's the content, which has all of the spin tags in it. And then finally the structured preview, which has all the modules applied into it. But let's say I want to use my own AI content, maybe from another tool, but still multiply it and inject a bunch of HTML into it. If I clear this and click on add custom, I can then click on preview and paste in my AI article. This is just one from Claude that I generated for plumbing, and click on generate spin tags and give that a second. And we can now see we've got this really long form version with many variations based on the original article, but still keeping the same structure. And if I click on reapply, it'll also take those images and videos that we had before and inject them into our AI article. If you remember, the first destination group we chose has the variables city and state in it. So let's add a Google map that automatically localizes to the output of those variables on our first tier. To do that, we can go into the raw module, add from template, choose the dynamic Google map, and then we're just going to replace these with those variables, city and state. Then I'm going to add them to the bottom of all the pages and click on update. And if we reapply, we'll see it on our AI article. It'll have a Google map at the bottom. Now, of course, in this preview, the variables don't actually have an output yet, but they will once we launch them. So let's copy this for publishing and switch back over. We'll paste in our content. Let's add another piece though, because our AI content is on the first tier here, but what we actually want to do is put another piece down here. But we've got a little bit of a problem. How do we make sure that any locations talked about on this network in these pages are linked to by pages that also talk about those locations on a different set of sites that don't have any? In this case, we're going to jump back into our content dashboard, and I'm going to clear out this content, actually go into our history and load what we did before. So this is, many more pages, and as the campaign balloons out, it'll make sense that we grab some more content here. And now, instead of the raw being, I'm just going to remove this one. Instead of this being city, we're going to do target.city and target.state, and we'll update that. And then let's add in some headers in here. So I'll open this and go into the keywords and paste this in. Now, instead of this other template I've got here, I'm actually going to remove Miami, Florida and put in city, and then sometimes I'll also state, like so. But if you remember, we also have to add in the target so we can reference the page that we're linking to. So if we click on update now and we reapply, we're going to actually have injected H tags in descending order into the page automatically based on the keywords that we put in. So I'm going to, again, copy this over to content, add another piece, paste it in, and this time, just like with the groups, I'm going to drag these onto the different tiers. Now, to summarize what we've done, we've now got locational, sort of transactional pages for plumbing on the first tier, being backlinked by a general local network with different content, and they will link together their locations automatically because we've put in that little target dot in there. To launch this campaign, we've got a couple more options that we want to fill in, such as total pages and the posting schedule. Now, to answer, such as total pages and posting schedule, to figure out the numbers here and how long we want to post on, the best way is to really look up here and see the average pages per site that is going to be created on both of these networks. If I wanted, much more than that, maybe we want 2,000, we'll see the average pages is about 63. So if I was to post this over, 0 to 60 days, something like this, it would be about 1 page per site per day. Now, sometimes you want to move faster than that. Sometimes you want to backdate the campaign to populate a new network. But for now, this looks good. What we'll do though is I'm actually going to backdate it entirely just so we can see all the pages live right now and actually go through and preview what they look like. verify that everything has worked, and see the theming as well. So last thing to do is just click on launch. That took about 10 seconds to publish, and now that it's done, let's have a look at the different pages that we created across the different sites. So we can preview the list of pages in that campaign through here, and we can see we've got our first tier AI content has come through in here. And if we click on one of these, we can see a very simple blog article that has all of our content in here. Makes sense. We've also got our location, Chandler, Arizona. If I click on home here, only got 2 posts as of today, but they're both in Chandler. Now, if we go back to one of these and we go to the B tier, so let's filter the node, starts with B, and now we're going to start seeing where this comes through. So we can see this is a business directory, a non-local site. We can see this page is talking about a plumbing contractor in Jacksonville. We can see the location has come through as Jacksonville. We can also see a link here, and if I click on this, it's actually going to go to another site, another page, but of course this is our AI content that's on a Jacksonville site. So it's actually linked them together now. So that's pretty cool. But let's do one more thing. So these look like blogs, but let's actually modify this campaign now that it's already live. So off screen, I've got a little theme, just a little index HTML I'm about to paste in. So let's edit this campaign, go to view extras, and in the prepend, which prepends stuff to all the pages in the campaign, I'm going to tell it to just do it on the first tier, and I am going to paste in this little very, very simple plumbing theme that I just generated with Claude. I'm also going to add in a variable for phone and put in a phone number in here, update variables, and update the campaign. Now, when I do this, if I go to one of these pages now, we're going to see we've got a very, very simple lander with the phone number that we put in, and it is automatically localized because in that theme, I've put in those double square brackets, city, state, all that kind of stuff. We can see that this subdomain up here is Chandler, Arizona. Now, what I've also done is, since our content is, quite long, doesn't make sense for a lander necessarily, but we still want to have all of that content in there, I've actually put them just inside an accordion that we can put. So this is a common thing that people might want to do. So yeah, what we've got here is a multi-tier campaign we've managed to edit later on, and we've also got it spreading its links across 2 different tiers, but the locations are linked together. We briefly saw it before with the theming, but it's important to note that Menterprise is built on custom architecture, and what that means is the ability to change things live, rely on what we call elastic linking, and make widespread content updates without spending any time on manual stuff. So for example, we've already launched this campaign, but now we can do more things to it going forwards. So if I edit this campaign, I can inject more schema in here, just pasting that in. We can see in here, I've got a local business schema for a plumber, and we've got our phone number in there from that variable. We've got our city and state in there. And I can put this on all of the tiers and update, and then immediately what we're going to see inside these pages. So we can see if we inspect here in the head, we're going to see our schema. We can see this is again Chandler, Arizona. We can see that actually this is the wrong schema. There it is. We can see we've got our phone number in here, we've got our address locality, and our address region. So this is our local business schema, and this is the automatic article and news article schema as well that we inject for you. I can also schedule content updates. So if I maybe want to schedule some content updates on all of the B tier pages, I can actually click on inject content and say, hey, hello, or add in more. We can then schedule it over a period of time. And choose the placement for it, and if I schedule this, it'll then actually show up with a scheduler for us on all of these pages, and it'll also show you out here when it's pulling them in together. So we can see we've got our updates are now scheduled, and the benefit of doing this is to keep campaigns that you might have run for a while live and active, It'll also update the sitemap and the updated date on the pages. On top of this, I can actually find and replace any text, image, HTML with anything else as well. So one of the biggest benefits of this is updating client details, locations, phone numbers, specific keywords, but I can also remove images or add in new images. I can do all sorts of things. So one fun example is if we edit this campaign and I change plum to roof and we update like so, and we can see we're now in here talking about roofer, roofing solutions, roofing fixtures, roofing services, so on and so forth. Of course, it hasn't updated the subdomain or anything like that, but you can see we've replaced plumbing with roofing on all the pages in our campaign, including the themed ones. We can find and replace anything at any time. So we can replace images, videos, we can replace keywords with other things, or even links with other links. But this is just a little bit of a fun example. Alright, so we've gone through a bunch of the features of Menterprise, what makes it special, and at the very beginning we also went through why we might want to use something like Menterprise to automate our authority. To tie this off, I just wanted to recap what we've talked about and also open the door to some support. So first things first, again, the reason that we're using Menterprise is to automate authority, automate backlinks, medium DA backlinks, that kind of thing. But more importantly is the different types of links that you can get. So we can get, the normal backlinks, but we can also get links that will replace things like PBNs. So we're talking about, 20, 30, 40 DA links in network. We're also talking about linking to many different sites, many different GBPs, YouTube, citations, press releases. Because you're able to create so many pages with different content, you're able to create so many different links to all these different properties. So matching locations, matching services, matching videos or citations, you'll be able to give these links to all the different properties instead of just the home page. And again, you can do it all with one platform. So we have the hosting, which is the one-click dedicated IP hosting. We have the content generator and multiplier, and then we have the pages and site builder, those two dashboards that we went through. But we also have one-on-one support. So we're a small company, we're in Australia, and we always, try to support people as much as we can when they're growing their network. This is quite a unique way to do this. So it can be overwhelming when you first get started. There's so many things that you can do. So we're very happy to, jump on a call and sit with you and talk about your clients and go through, what best strategies you can do with Menterprise. We can also do VA and team training. And we also have done for you options where we have an internal team that actually runs all of this for you, which is really great if you have, a couple dozen clients or you're a bigger agency. And now, with that said, if you do want to get started, you can start quickly and easily. You can try for free. We have a 7-day trial right now. We have videos in the dashboard. We have a full help center. We also have in-app walkthroughs. So if you're like me and you like to get your hands dirty, then you can start very quickly. So jump in, watch the videos, host the domains for free in your dashboard, and get started today. Thank you for watching.